Mike, roses are red, violets are blue. 9 years since that first message, hi, you're hot, how are you? Things didn't quite work out straight away. Right person, wrong time, isn't that what they say? But I knew you were the one right from the day we met, and I know I'm a catch, so I told my mum he'll be back, I can bet. For those who know us well, our stories of how we met disagree. Mike would say we just met online, but adding me on all social media at once is a bit keen. But your persistence worked, and 9 years later, somehow we're still here. We've had our ups and downs, but life with you gives me no fear. I could write a long list of things I love about you, but I'll pick my 3 favourites: hardworking, caring, and sometimes funny too. I'm so lucky to have not 1 but 2 of you at home, as Stanley's your double, so here's 3 more words: stubborn, grumpy, and loves to moan. But thank you for being you and the only person for me. I hope I can be the life partner and wife you want me to be. I'm not sure how you've put up with me for so long, but I think that shows that together we're strong. Seeing you become a dad only grew my feelings for you. You've took care of us both and put yourself last so many times too. I can't wait for our family to grow and do it all again someday, but if you could do all the 5 a.m. wake-ups next time, that would be okay. I have a couple of requests before we say the I do's, like put your boxes in the washing bin and close the toilet seat too. But honestly, I'm so grateful to call you mine till the end. I'm so lucky to have found the most amazing partner, dad, and friend.
I'm a man of few words, won't cut it this time, so that was a few more. No, I'm kidding. Abby, from the first time we met, I felt an instant connection. Even though it did take me a year to realise that you were the only person I wanted to be with. But from then on, we've just grew and grew. And I don't know if you'll remember, but when we met up after the year apart, we stood in Milk nightclub. And you gave me a stern talking to, saying that if we were to be together, it was now or never. And from that moment onwards, I've never stopped loving you. As you're the only one I could see standing here doing this today. From then on, we've grown from strength to strength, and look at us now, our own house, dog, this wee man wherever he's disappeared to. It's keeping us on our toes. Hard to believe we have a nearly 3-year-old and we used to stoat about Edinburgh with traffic cones on our head. Spending time with you back then was my treasure, and it still is even more so as a family. You bring me a calmness I've never had before and show me a love that I've never felt before, and for that I can't thank you enough. I admire how much of a strong, independent woman you are, and that even when the going gets tough, you soldier on and get through whatever we have to overcome. As a mother and a partner, soon to be wife, I can't fault you at all, as you put up with some amount of nonsense from us pair. If it's not me spewing from too much drink and Stan being a menace and causing chaos. From travelling the world to raising a family, there is no one I'd rather do life with. I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you. I love you so much, and thank you for being you, and thank you for letting me be me.
Oh, you're shaking. Oh, Abby. It's all right. You're okay. Back the island, why not? You're good.
I'd like to know what I'm supposed to say.
Speechless is fine.
Never been speechless.
That's even better.
Abby, that's... I'm dead and back.
Thank you. What is on high? Oh, Abby. Oh, no. Yes, thank you.
Wow.
And those who dwell in love are dwelling in God, and God in them. We have come together in the presence of God for the marriage of Abigail and Michael, to share their joy, to promise them our support and love. Marriage is a gift of God and a means of grace. In the lifelong union of marriage, we can know the joy of God, who made us in God's own image, male and female. Marriage is founded in God's loving nature and in His covenant love with us in Christ. Husband and wife, in giving themselves to each other in love, reflect the love of Christ for His church. In Christian marriage, wife and husband are called to live faithfully together, to love each other with respect, tenderness, and delight. The companionship and comfort of marriage enable the full expression of physical love between husband and wife. They share the life of a home and may be trusted with the gift and care of children. And now we have a reading that Nana Joan will do.
Corinthians chapter 13, verses 4 to 8. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no recording of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices in the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. But when there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be stilled. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away.
Friends, it is my great privilege to introduce to you for the first time Mr. and Mrs. Michael McGuire.
I hold back from saying the things I feel, 'cause the letdown takes it out of me.
Well done!
Nearly 2 years ago, when we were all on a caravan holiday in Norfolk, I was blown away when Mike engineered a way for just him and me to go into a jeweller's in Sheringham to look at an engagement ring he had picked out for Abby. I guess he wanted to know whether I thought she'd like it. But what he didn't know was that she'd already taken her mum and me into that same shop because it belonged to a friend of Louise's from school and she had chosen the very same ring. So, I had to pretend I didn't know what he was on about. And I said, of course. I said she'd love it. And she obviously did, because it's on her finger. So anyway, but what really astounded me was that on the way back, I choked up when he did this. He asked me if he could marry her. Who the heck does that these days? And I was absolutely gobsmacked. It was, and I really had to check myself because I almost said no. But anyway, of course, I said absolutely yes. And that I thought Stan, who was about a year old at the time, would probably insist upon it. So we were all delighted that Abby chose so well. We love Mike and we get on well with him famously. What is great though is he does a really good job of tolerating us, me in particular. That shows sound breeding and it is a testament to his mum and dad. So thank you, Mum. What is the most important thing to us though is that he adores Abby. It's obvious and he is for sure the perfect partner for her. He's also shown what a brilliant dad he is. Another thing, he has a great relationship with Louise, and for that I'm extremely grateful. But you need to be aware of something that is not common knowledge, Mike. Mother-in-law is an anagram of Hitler woman. Go on, everybody, think about it. You're all anagrams solving in your head just now, aren't you? I have 4 sons, and I'm proud of all of them. I love them dearly, but like in all family dynamics, it isn't always reciprocated, and there are times when we don't see eye to eye. The best feeling though is when those sons are also my friends. Today my son count has increased by 20% because I see Mike in exactly the same way. The real bonus is that his brother count has gone up by 80%. Now that's a result, I think. And yeah, his sister count increased by 60% as well. I've been married for over 50 years on and off. Settle down. Settle down. That was better than the joke at the beginning, wasn't it? Right. No. And I'm still not qualified to give anybody any advice about it. However, here's a couple of thoughts from me. A man who gives in when he's wrong is a great man. But a man who gives in when he's right is married. And another one. This was a song from a old Slowfoot. What did they call him, Joel? You played him on the Blue Jeans. What was his name? Garth Brooks, yeah. A really clever bloke. And he sang in a song, a man is not wealthy until he has something that money can't buy. And now he has. Haven't you? You had to say yes. Anyway, I've entitled the next little bit, Song. She's as terrified as she gets just now. It isn't showing on her face, but she thinks she knows what's coming. And I swore Mike to secrecy, so he didn't tell her. If he did, I'll kill him to death. Anyway, for Abby's coming of age when she was 18, we decided to throw a party for her. We hired the rugby club where I was a member and spent a fortune on decorations, food and drink and invitations. and it seemed that Abby invited everybody she knew. Over the years, I have been known to write wee ditties and funny little songs to tell the story of the people who are on the other end, special occasions like birthdays, retirements, leaving dues, etc. So I decided to tell Abby's story by writing one for her. It was called My Baby Girl's No Longer 17, and it was set to the Dr. Hook tune, Everybody's Making It Big But Me. If I do say so myself, it was some of my finest work. It was really quite funny and poignant as it told the story of the miracle that became Abby. You have to know the story, and I'm only going to touch on it. But anyway, in hindsight though, I now understand why she might be thoroughly embarrassed by it at only 18. Steady on, Abby. It mentioned vasectomy reversal, pregnant after a few weeks even before the stitches came out, conversations with the consultant, whether he thought it was some sort of a record, you know, stuff like that. I couldn't get why she was embarrassed. I know now, but not then. Anyway, when I played and sang it to her for the first time before the party, she was horrified. And she said, "Dad, I will never speak to you again if you ever perform that song in public." So, after 10 years, and without further ado, I've decided to spare her blushes because it probably still wouldn't be a good idea. I can't find the words. I've looked everywhere. I think she destroyed them. So I'm going to do a different one instead. I knew I wanted to do this for my favourite youngest daughter. And their sisters. So I had an operation about a year ago because my hands are knackered. And the guitar work was just crap. I mean, it's like I never knew one end of a guitar from the other. So I asked the surgeon whether I would be able to play the guitar after he'd done the operation. He said yes. Well, he lied. If anything, it's worse. So now remember about that rapturous applause. You're not going to be able to enjoy your dinner with all this fish you're going to get, Chuck. I'll settle for a sympathy vote. So my lovely assistants are now going to set me up. And again, you'll now know what Ellie did. And it's just brilliant. I'll be over there. When I look at the two of them, I have to say, they're lost in these moments and each other's face. So much in love, they're alone in this place, like there's nobody else in the world. I was enough for her not long ago. I was her number one, she told me so. And she still means the world to me, just so you know. So be careful when you hold my girl. Time changes everything, life must go on. So I'm not gonna stand in your way. But I loved her first, I held her first, and a place in my heart will always be hers. From the first breath she breathed, when she first smiled at me, I knew the love of a father runs deep. And I prayed that she'd find you someday. But it's still hard to give her away, 'cause I loved her first. How could that beautiful woman with you be the same little blonde kid that I knew. The one that I told all those Bible tales to, and tucked into bed all those nights. And I knew the first time I saw you with her, it was only a matter of time. I loved her first, I held her first, and a place in my heart will always be hers. From the first breath she breathed, when she first smiled at me, I knew the love of the Father runs deep. And I prayed that she'd find you someday, but it's still hard to give her away, and I loved her first. I loved her first, I held her first, and a place in my heart will always be hers. From the first breath she breathed, when she first smiled at me, I knew the love of a father runs deep. And I pray that you find you someday, but it's still hard to give her away. Someday you might know what I'm going through, when your little girl smiles up at you, 'cause you'll love her first.
A song. You don't want to hear me sing, Emma. That's the last thing anyone wants to hear right now. No, it's great to finally get everyone together. My family, Abby's family, everyone in England. It's lovely to see. We'll see how the night goes. You know who you are. And to Abby, my wife. My soulmate, my partner in crime, I'm incredibly lucky to call you that, and to have you here by my side for the rest of my life is unbelievable.
You'll have me blubbing again in a minute.
I knew for the first moment when I met you I wanted to spend the rest of my life with you. Might not have seen that at the time, as I was obviously, you know the story. I'll tell you later. Looking back, it's hard to believe that a woman who got caught peeing behind a guy sleeping on a moped in Vietnam,
Yeah.
and a guy who got lifted home in an ambulance in Newcastle, is here today with this little man. Yeah. It's the privilege to call you my wife. I love you so much. To Abby, my wife. Yay!
Yeah, another Maguire wedding, everyone. Here we are, eh? So, for those of you who don't know me from Abby's side, I'm Chris. I'm the eldest sibling of Caitlin and Michael. And unfortunately for Mike and Abby, they've chosen a best man who loves the sound of his own voice. So I hope you loaded up on the canopies and crisps behind the bar, because it may be some time before we have our starters. Some of you might not make it, and for that we salute your sacrifice. And the age gap was a bigger deal when we were younger, as you might expect. I saw Mikey's first steps. I heard his first words, which were often had to be translated by Caitlin, because he mumbled quite a lot and nobody actually knew what he was talking about. And he also, unfortunately, he also felt left out a lot of the time. Like when I was going out to parties, and he couldn't come to. He'd be at the side of the stage when I played gigs, and sometimes I would play video games and give him the second controller, but it wasn't even plugged in. But as Mikey started getting older, he started doing his own thing. You know, he took up football, which he was quite good at, and I was crap at football. That's why I played rugby. I couldn't kick a ball to save myself. So thankfully, my father had one son who can play football. So he played for school, and he played for the academy and for Muirston. And we started doing things together as well, you know, as he was getting older. You know, we started going to gigs together, to music festivals, drinking, playing video games, sometimes drinking and playing video games. And the second controller was now plugged in. In fact, what...
Yeah, I was always player one.
He was always player one. But one Christmas, as an example, I think it was 2012, we stayed up all night Christmas evening, and we played Halo 4 all night until the next morning. And yes, Auntie Michelle, I know what you're wondering, we did complete the single player campaign on Legendary difficulty. Just like his brother, he had to go past some nutters before he met his soulmate. So now we have Ellie and Abby. But one time, he did bring a girl back to the house. As a heads up, this is completely PG rated. I've seen plenty of best men speeches that have died because they went into far too much detail. But hopefully this one's just a bit of fun. I never saw her. So anyway, that's the PG warning. And I'm only telling this story because he told a story about me at my wedding about bringing girls back. So anyway, it's night time and he comes home and he goes upstairs, he gets past the hallway, my dad's snoring away in his bedroom. So far so good. He's cracked it. So he goes into his bedroom, shuts the door, and he embraces this lady, this girl, and they go down onto the bed where they rudely wake up my mum, who had been sleeping in Michael's bed, to get away from my snoring dad, because she thought he wasn't coming home. Needless to say, Mikey's bedroom door didn't open up again until everyone had left the house the following morning to go to the rugby. But then he met Abby, and all that craziness changed. You know, a lot of nice things have been said thus far, but I just also want to say that we knew Abby was different. She's a confident and strong-willed woman, and she doesn't take any nonsense, and she's very intelligent. She's a fellow alum of Heriot-Watt University, big up. So she's basically all the things you need to be in order to handle living with a Maguire. So she's got all the necessary characteristics. So for those of you that were at Ellie and I's wedding, don't worry, I'm not going to sing. I was going to do the entire Lord of the Rings soundtrack in the style of Blink-182, but Ellie talked me down from it. But just quickly, at Ellie and I's wedding, in Michael's best man speech to me, he finished by reading a poem that he wrote when he was a wee boy about his big brother. I'll say it very quickly for those of you who aren't there. So my brother is cool, he plays in a band, he has spiky hair, he's a funny guy, he always makes me laugh, and he thinks he is the king of the road. He plays the guitar all the time, sometimes it gets annoying, sometimes it isn't. He thinks he's the boss when mum and dad are not in. He helps me when I get stuck in PS2 games, and that's my brother. So what I've done is so that was a poem from the past into the future. Now I've reverse engineered that poem and wrote my own poem from the present, looking back into the past about my little brother. My brother is no fool. He's a strong, silent type. He actually has hair. He's a confident guy. His wee boy Stan always makes me laugh. And now he is the king of the road. He leaves his boxers on the floor and doesn't put the toilet seat down. Sometimes Abby finds it annoying. Sometimes she absolutely loses the plot. He thinks he's the boss when Abby isn't in. Now he helps me when I'm stuck in video games. And that's my brother. Nearly there, we're nearly there. We'll get those starters for those of you that are still alive. So Michael will always be my wee brother, but he's no longer a little boy sitting on the side of the stage. He's the headline act now, with his beautiful wife, his wonderful son. So can everyone be upstanding to toast the new couple, Abigail and Michael Maguire.
So I know the bride doesn't usually get up and do a speech, and I definitely, it's not something I would usually do, but I have someone really important who needs a mention, who I'm hoping isn't about to walk out of the room, Mum. Mum, I'm talking to you.
Get back here,
Throughout a bride's wedding day, their dad gets to do the first look, give them away, give a speech, and have a first dance, but there's nothing for the mother of the bride. A mother dedicates their life, soul and body to their child, and my mum has been my best friend from the minute I was born and always will be. I knew my mum wouldn't want to take away from my dad's part in today, but I wanted to do something to recognise how important she is to me. So tonight, apologies to all the single ladies, but I won't be doing a bouquet toss. Instead, I'll be dedicating my bouquet to my beautiful mum.